Hey everyone, and welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and we are here with episode 6 of Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt. So, it's been getting better lately. And that's a good thing. But, it's not what I would call perfect still. It's one of those shows that has a lot going for it, but is also, just because of what it's about and how it's styled, is always on the verge of being just too much and too over the top to where it actually hurts the overall quality of itself. Sometimes it just goes into territory that's a little off. And unfortunately, that, excuse me, there was a hair in my mouth. Unfortunately, it goes into territory where it takes it too far with some of the jokes and with some of the ideas. And as always, this is satire, obviously. As always, it's meant to be very goofy, meant to be very silly, and even over the top. And I can handle that. But it's just like there's certain things that either just personally bother me a little bit more, and because of that, it's hard to just accept it as satire and everything. Or there's some things that, again, just go too far and just aren't really funny anymore. They're just annoying. But then there's episodes as well. Then there's segments that really do fucking well and are exceptional satirizations of various animation styles, like we got last time with this, with the one that was kind of like a Satoshi Kon parody, but actually another completely separate thing. Or just, satirizing different themes and ideas and whatnot within anime and the production companies and all. Another hair in my mouth? What the hell? But either way, um, there's enough to keep me invested right now. And with this episode, we put it about halfway through. Because there's about 12, 13 episodes, I don't remember exactly, but it's basically a single core. And I'm just curious as to where it's going to go from here. Because if we're halfway through, then we've only seen, like, what it could really be. And I'm wondering if they're going to ramp it up. And that means they could ramp up both the good and the bad. So I guess we're just going to kind of have to take it as it goes. Maybe after this we'll start doing like multiple episodes. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Just depends on how it all ends up going down, and then recordings and all. But yeah, in other words, I'm just kind of mixed on this series. It's like there's a lot to love about it, a lot of great stuff. And when it really hits the mark, it really fucking hits the mark. But there's other times where it's weaker or even straight up bad. And it's not as egregious with with anything as like something like Asobi Asobase or Pop Team Epic, where when it got really bad, it was actually outright terrible. Like in those shows, when it got really bad, it was like almost unwatchable. and it tended to delve into that surprisingly quite a bit. um, it's not quite as bad as those because, especially because of the highlights of it. The good moments are again really damn good. So it's like I'm just kind of on the verge with this, and hopefully it ends up veering more towards the good stuff and starts veering away from the weaker stuff. And obviously, it's all opinion, it's all subjective. So if any of the stuff like that I note that I think is weaker or whatnot, and if you like it, that's perfectly fine. You're allowed to have different tastes than me. I think people who try to like police that or whatnot are absolutely stupid, and gatekeeping is absolutely stupid. It's like people are going to have different opinions. It's how our brains are wired. Like, there are going to be people who don't like certain popular anime, and there are going to be people who love certain anime that are hated. Like, widely hated. So it's like, that's just how it works. We got to deal with it. Even if we don't necessarily understand it, we got to deal with it. So, yeah. I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about this real quick and just give some quick thoughts. Because we are halfway through. And again, we'll see how it goes from here. Hopefully it goes well, and hopefully it's more the good stuff rather than the bad. But, I mean, we can't really see without getting into the episode, so might as well do so. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, midpoint of the season. A lot of shows do this kind of thing. Not every show, but a lot of shows do. Midpoint through the season, they'll have like a big kind of almost mid-season finale type episode. Not all shows it is a mid-season finale for, but just a big episode that kind of changes the game in a way. And this very much was that episode. Les Diaboliques was really good. Really damn good. And is the debut of the characters Scanty and Knee Socks. So, I had already very vaguely known about these two. I knew that there were an anti-panty and stocking. I knew that they were demons, and that's it. I didn't know anything about their personalities or characters or how they were introduced. I don't know how often they show up, etc., etc. Though it is made pretty clear that they'll definitely be back. Again, even if not in this season, they will be back for sure in the next season when that eventually comes out. But yeah, I did know about them before ever watching this show. So, it's just, I wasn't like sure when they were coming in or how that was going to be handled. I honestly didn't really expect them until like the finale. But instead we get them here mid-season. And so for this, we got a double lengther. We only have the one segment in this one. It's double length. It's given proper time and attention and made very clear this is important. Not just because of the anti-panty and stocking, but also the ending. Seeing the mayor and seeing that he's kind of behind everything, he's the big bad, and we don't even actually get to fully see him. But he's the one, like, kind of pulling the strings and is clearly going to be our final villain. Now, I don't know if every episode after this is going to, like, lead into the finale from here on out. I don't know if every episode is going to, like, build up to that in that way. I'm sure we'll probably get some slice of life stuff. You know what I mean. Some just typical panty and stocking shenanigans. But this very much was a whole new thing. And it felt like such. It felt like it was taking it a lot more seriously. It felt like, even with all the goofy jokes and everything in it still, it felt like this was a big deal. And it's good because it clearly was, but I'm just saying it felt like that. It was clearly written, directed, presented in a way that made its importance come across really well. Scanty and knee socks being the anti-panty and stocking. Obviously, since panty and stocking are angels, you have to have scanty and knee socks be demons. And because panty and stocking are anarchy sisters, you have to have scanty and knee socks be orderly. It makes sense. You have to have, like, complete opposites. Them being orderly and rule abiding and everything really makes them contrast with panty and stocking. And seeing their overall rivalry start to bloom and seeing how they really just start to grow this insane hatred for each other is really good, just because of how different they are. Especially you see it near the end where it's like panty and stocking don't really give two shits about Brief, but like Scanty and knee socks think that they do, think that they're his friends. And it's like they're really not. Like, they never really became friends with him. He just kind of shows up every now and again. It's like they're not actually friends. He maybe thinks they are, but they don't. But Scanty and knee socks clearly did. And, like, they're insistent on that. Even when Panty and Stocking are like, we don't care what you do to him. It doesn't fucking matter to us. But they're still insistent on that idea. It's like, that's not even true, though. But they're so thrown off by Panty and Stocking's just lack of caring. Since they're angels and all. So they think, like, oh, you're angels, you have to, have morals, and you have to be caring, you have to care what happens to this kid. And it's like, yeah, no, we really don't. and I kind of like that idea. Because obviously in pretty much everything, angels are portrayed as the good guys. Because angels. And demons are portrayed as the bad guys because demons. It's, obviously based on Christian lore and stuff. And it's just how it's always been portrayed. But in more recent years, there has been mix-ups with that. Where we have gotten demons shown to be not completely evil. Or at least not as bad as you would think. And there have been things where it shows angels as, not that great. Obviously, Vivzy Pop's work, Has Been Hotel and Hello Boss are great examples of that. But there have definitely been others where it's like the angels are like, oh, no, you're actually kind of dickbags. and then there's been demons that's like, yeah, they're not so bad, are they? And this time, it's like, it takes it obviously with Panty and Stocking in a very extreme manner. And the demons are not good guys or anything in this situation, but neither are the angels. The angels are shown to be just as fucked up, in some ways even more. But the demons are not shown to be good guys. It's just showing that, like, everyone kind of sucks. And it's always fun to kind of see that, to kind of see angels, like, portrayed this way. Because it's just, again, they're always portrayed in media as basically these flawless, sterile, amazing beings. And it's fun to see that kind of flipped on its head. And yes, I'm even saying this as a Christian, as someone who does believe. Because I'm not one of those Christians who are super ridiculous when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's like, I'm not going to piss my pants because a portrayal doesn't live up to my beliefs. It's fucking media. It's fake. It's fiction. There's no reason to get all up in arms over something that's fiction. People are stupid. But yeah, there's a good long portion of this during the second half of the episode that's just basically the fight scene, and it's really good. Like, they put forth a lot of effort into that, not just with the animation, but with the just pure epicness of it, how it feels. Like, they made sure, again, to make this fight feel different from any other fight we've had in the series up to now. They wanted it to come across as something important, something unique and interesting. And in the end, remember, Panty and Stocking didn't defeat them. Scanty and Knee Socks weren't destroyed. They ran away. Panty and Stocking probably couldn't defeat them. And that's wild. And they did say they were made to be indestructible. Made to be indestructible. So, yeah. It seems like that might be the case, at least with how Panty and Stocking are now. This is proving to be something pretty interesting. And I'm very much invested in seeing more of this shit. Like, this is the shit I want to see. This is the shit that I want to know more about. Because this just felt like an entirely different level from most everything else. And again, that was the point. It was supposed to feel like an entirely different level. And so I think they succeeded. This one didn't really have a lot of commentary to it, like other episodes and segments have had. There was definitely some commentary on order versus anarchy and whatnot. But it wasn't really like super heavy with this one. Other segments throughout the first 5 episodes have had much more focused and better commentary in that way. But I don't think this really needed it, because this was more, instead of focusing on the commentary, this was more focused on like progression of story and, you know, introducing us to our big bads. So I think that kind of makes up for it. And I'm perfectly fine with it. But that all being said, like I said, I really enjoyed this. This was really damn good. And I definitely want to see more of this kind of shit going forward. I assume the finale will probably be double length like this. I assume that's probably going to be on this kind of level. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. And then again, eventually we'll get a season 2, and I don't know what that's going to focus on, if it's going to have a lot more of the story stuff as well. We'll have to see. But I'm very interested to see where this all goes. But obviously, I don't want spoilers. So no spoilers in the comments below. Either way, tell me your thoughts on this episode of Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.